Welcome to this new landing challenge video. In this landing challenge video we're gonna land at London City Airport. It's currently pretty cloudy, it's also raining, and the plan is to land on runway 9. Difficulty level is Pro. This landing challenge is not part of the default Flight Simulator 2020 landing challenges. It's part of the Landing Challenge Pro solution released by SoFly earlier this week. The idea is to start with at 180 knots, then slow down to 160, and then eventually to 140 when we're, I would say, almost to the same level as the O2 Arena. And then we're gonna land on runway 9, which is on 90 feet AMSL, so keep that in mind. So let's see if we can make this landing successful. Take some time to load. And also keep in mind that you need to, if you already have bought the Landing Challenge Pro solution, you need to be aware that you need to press on fly now as soon as possible, because else the airplane will crash. Not sure if it's a bug in Landing Challenge Pro, but it looks like. So it's almost there. One thing you need to keep in mind that you can't fly too low because there are a lot of large buildings here. Because it's Canary Wharf on the financial district of London. Let's ignore the alerts for now. So the runway is here. So we're gonna decrease or start decreasing a bit, not too much. And we need to keep an eye on the speed, because we also don't want to go too fast, of course. And since we're descending, right, keep an eye. Currently we're not descending, we're increasing altitude. So sometimes you need to fully reduce the throttle, right? It's also a good idea to drop the flaps a bit. The poppy lights, you can't see them currently, so be aware of that. You can use the poppy lights, but we're currently a little bit too far away from them. Poppy lights will help you to figure out if you're on the glide path, yes or no, and especially doing these landing challenges will help. So the aim point of your airplane, what I try to do in most cases is to try a little bit to aim a little bit, say, too much to the right. In that case, you will, I would say, touch with the wheel pretty well to the center of the runway, which will make sure that the roll, as they call the category during the landing challenge, is, I would say, almost optimal. Almost, not always, so keep that in mind. Probably when I'm telling it, it will be disaster. So we're gonna decrease altitude a little bit more, landing and then gear. Drop the flaps completely. As we're warned by the airplane already, we need to drop down the gears. As you can see, currently none of the lights are burning, which means we're simply far too high. So we need to make, I would say, a sharp correction on this. Probably we want to give this landing challenge another try and then fly a little bit lower. So currently we're at 3 lights, which means we're too low. So we need to, I'd say, let the aircraft decrease a little bit slower. And then we should eventually come on the runway or on the glide path again. If you're not, then you should also pull back the stick a bit. That will prevent that your aircraft goes too fast or descends too fast, I should say. Now we're far too low, so let's pull a little bit further back. The 500 mark. From my perspective, I think we're too low to make this one, I would say, successful. At least landing at the landing zone. Probably will land a little bit earlier. I'm going to increase speed a bit. Because we're almost against the stall, as you can see. And we're landing far too far away from the touchdown zone. You saw it, right? So the landing zone was there, but it was simply, we touched down too soon. So we probably need to give it another try. So let's see what the flight simulator thinks of us. So landing position, yeah, we were not pretty good. Landing roll was also room for improvement. Landing smoothness, well, it was at the end was a little bit hard landing. So let's go back to the activities menu. Due to the fact that the restart simply doesn't work, it simply crashes your landing challenge directly. So here we are again. So let's give it another try. Runway 9, here we come again. So the error we made was we didn't descend too fast to fly pretty low over the Canary Wharf, which is the financial district. And then I think we were too slow at the end, because at the end we were going 95 knots instead of above 100, which almost brought us into a stall. And it resulted in that we needed to touch down a little bit earlier, as we would like to do. So let's see if we can improve it the second time. So the Pro one is the next level compared to Easy, right? Easy are the, I would say, the most easiest ones which you can do. And then you've got, say, Pro. And then there's another level which is, let's say, pretty hard. Some of the landing challenges, while trying several of them out, are really challenging, because you first need to figure out where the landing zone is, I would say, or where the runway is. And this one is, I would say, one of the most easiest, because it's really a straight fly-in, although the weather isn't that good. So we're currently too high or too low, because all lights are burning, if I'm seeing it correctly. Gonna drop flaps one knot. That will decrease the speed a bit. Although we're still not, I would say, above Canary Wharf, so probably it's... Maybe one of my subscribers knows, probably I should have dropped it a little bit later compared to now. But and then as soon as we're about to say above the, or passing the O2 arena, we will probably drop the flaps another knob, and then they will be on full flaps, so that it will also start us to warn us again that we need to drop the landing gear. In the meantime, we need to make some corrections, right? We need to adjust the direction a bit, so we're in the center of the runway, and we need to descend a little bit more steeper. And that's the nasty thing, is that you think, hey, we're descending pretty well, and then it can change very fast within a few minutes that you need to make corrections. And as you can see, we're also going
Landing
far
gear.
too hard. So I've put the thrust to 0 now, completely. Coming in, yeah, so this is the glide scope, so let's avoid that we're descending too fast again. a correction because we need to be a little bit more to the right side, because that's to make sure that we're on the correct roll. Then descend a little bit more, make some small corrections. Don't make the adjustments too hard. 500 mark. So now we're good. So let's try to follow the glide path. There's the blue marker, right? So let's pull back the stick a bit. Not sure how it was. I think I need to do a little bit softer touchdown with the front wheel. Yeah, so it improved from landing position, I think. As you can see, that both the landing smoothness and the ground roll were not perfect. So need to practice a little bit more. If you got any hints or tips, then please feel free to post them below the video. Here ends this one. Hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments or feedback, then use the comment box below the video. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.